Back speaking with Neil Young from Elixir Energy this morning on JustStocks. Neil, good morning.
Morning, Andrew. Always a pleasure.
Look, you had an update yesterday, Neil, on DayDream-2, the Lorelle Sandstone successfully stimulated. Just firstly, tell us a bit more about this part of the process.
Okay, so we had a 6-stage stimulation process, and we successfully undertook the lowest level, the Lorelle Sandstone, which you might recall free-flowed gas previously. But then we hit some operational issues, and in the oil and gas game, they can cascade and be expensive. So we thought it appropriate to suspend operations where they were, and we'll come back to those shortly. But we did learn a lot from stimulating the Lorelle Sandstone. The performance of the stimulation was then fed into the computer models of our experts, and they concluded that once this flows, post the stimulation, it will deliver a flow rate which we consider to be commercial in this location.
Have you said previously what the size of the resource is within the Lorelle Sandstone?
So the size within that sandstone itself is hard to tell. I mean, what we have got here is a contingent resource over the sandstones in this play. We've got a prospective resource over the coals, which we expect to move to contingent post-flow, and now that will be a few months away rather than a few weeks away. But with the data we've already got from the sands is encouraging us to see that the contingent resource can be dramatically boosted from the sands alone. Now, what is out there is that once we come back in a few months' time, and if we get, as we hope that we and plan that we will, a commercial flow rate, then we'll start considering reserves, i.e. the next category of resources. That requires engagement with customers, which we're doing, and we have a couple of large and interested people given the location. And obviously flow rates and other factors too. So those things are all coming together nicely. It's just quite annoying from management's point of view that these operational issues have somewhat delayed them.
But just on that, so plans for a staged development are already underway now, are they?
Yeah, one of the beauties of an unconventional play like this is that it's not a single on-off decision as to whether you move to a development. You can decide to drill, X number of wells for something small, and then you can build that up to, say, like a bigger contract. And then in the fullness of time, I expect very large parties can look at developing this up more substantially to, for instance, feed into the LNG plants in Queensland. But the active staging is attractive because it gives optionality rather than making a single decision. And that will also be an attractive factor to those larger parties that we're discussing ultimately coming in and joining us in this part of the world.
So as you say, there's another 5 stages to go for the stimulation and the flow testing. What's the timetable from here?
So we've said in our announcement a month or so. We anticipate being able to hone that down more accurately within the next 2 weeks. We are very actively engaging with the people who can do this, and there's a pretty specialist job, but we know the relevant parties, and we're pretty far advanced in those discussions, and look forward to locking them in and giving an update shortly.
And you're in the right spot, of course. How's the demand looking for gas on the east coast of Australia?
I mean, it's looking very, very strong. I mean, prices probably have a floor of $12 and can be considerably higher than that. And when Tweedy starts bringing in gas by boat to Port Kembla, that'll be a price of $20. That will set market expectations, and we expect prices to trade within those sort of 2 boundaries. So it's a very attractive market. And then, of course, as I noted, gas here can be exported as well into international markets, which are linked to oil prices. And as we all know, when we're filling up our cars just now, those prices are high. And so we face 2 markets, both high priced and both very attractive.
I suppose just finally, Neil, worth reminding people, your update yesterday highlighting a logistical setback, not a reflection on the assets. So the fundamentals unchanged here.
Exactly. I mean, operational issues like this are annoying, but if they were caused by geology, they'd be far more concerning. We can emphatically say that they were not. They were just a typical constellation of events, which happens when you're doing a very complex thing like this, unfortunately. But the true value of the asset is absolutely undiminished. by a few months delay. So that is one pleasing aspect of the otherwise annoying circumstance.
Good to speak, Neil. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.